Are you ready to get really, really big mad? Good, me too. That's actually my secret, by the way. I am always big mad. It's time for another episode of Toxic Reddit. i.e., I'm just going to go for an Instagram account that I follow called Toxic Reddit and read off some of the recent entries because I just love having high blood pressure. Grab some crisps, not sponsored, but look at this. Cauliflower crisps, katsu curry. Let's do a live little review. Oh, you're getting bang for your buck in this video, aren't you? Shit that'll make you angry, and also a review. It does indeed smell like katsu curry with a hint of cauliflower. Is this good ASMR? Yes, they do taste like katsu. The tiniest bit of, not like spicy, just a bit of a kick. It's good. I recommend. Oh yeah, like, dislike, comment for the engagement, subscribe, resubscribe, all that stuff. There's actually loads of good ones. Am I the arsehole for having my daughter see my parents? My daughter is 13. I'm married to my wife who has very feminist values. I also have my parents who are very traditional. My parents are extremely strict and can come across as cold, but deep down they are loving. They don't show it as much. They are the authoritarian type. You're really selling your parents to us here. Just like when I was growing up, but I learned to respect my parents even if I was unhappy with them, and I'm a stronger person for it. I learned to put up with bad and toxic behaviours, and because I did, so should you. What a boomer mindset. No, but you know when boomers do that? Well, you know, in my day, like, things were really tough, so because it was tough for me, why shouldn't it be tough for you, the younger generation? But it doesn't have to be like this. We could all hold hands and eat cauliflower crisps together. Stay hydrated, it's important. I know my parents don't like my wife, and they make it very clear. If she had her way, she would cut them off from us, and I know how unhappy they make her. But they are my parents, and I would never abandon them. Look, blood is blood. And when I say that, I mean you have no choice in what family you're born into. It's a complete genetic lottery. If your parents or siblings or aunties or uncles or grandparents are dicks, you don't have to put up with it because, well, the family, you can choose your own family. We can do that. Also, I hate to alarm people, but the human race is incredibly inbred. So technically, we're all one big, giant, dysfunctional family. I believe there was some catastrophe or like mass cataclysm or something that happened. I'm going to butcher this because, you know, memory. 30 or so thousand years ago. And then the human population dwindled down to less than 10,000 people. I want to say that. I'll look it up. Which makes us all so inbred. So, you know, choose your family. You've got an option of 8 billion people. My daughter has made it clear from the time she was little that she hates my parents. She would cry and refuse to get in the car to go see them, so I would have them over. If you've got a little kid who is crying over... That's not good. They aren't cruel, but they will put their foot down when my daughter acts up. They don't let her speak unless she is spoken to first. They often judge what my daughter wears and does. They sound so fun to be around, especially like if you're a little kid. It's a wonder so many people have self-esteem issues when they've had to grow up with people who won't allow them to take up a little bit of space. I usually have had them over when my wife is at work, so she won't speak up about them like she has in the past. I know my daughter doesn't like it, but I want her to at least be able to see her grandparents. I hope she will be glad she did. Right, she's been crying and was refusing to see them, and they don't let her speak unless she's spoken to, and they judge her for anything she does. What part of that do you think she's going to look back and be like, oh, what fond memories? Okay, I read through this earlier. I don't think he specifies how old the daughter is. Because if the daughter was, you know, crying, refusing to get in the car to see them, that would, you'd think, would imply quite young. Yesterday, my daughter revealed to my wife that for the past few years, I've been having my parents over a few times a month. My wife originally thought I was having them over only once a month, wasn't making our daughter have anything to do with them. My wife is pissed that I've been lying to her, which I understand, but now she is saying to completely cut contact with my parents and never bring them round again. Despite their flaws, I deeply respect and love my parents. My daughter chimed in, sobbing and saying that I should put my parents in a nursing home and leave them to die, and when they die, she will stomp and dance on their grave. Savage. But that kind of language, don't you think that they must be a kid? What teenager would say, oh, I'm going to dance on... Would they? I don't know. I'm not that connected with... I don't know what teenagers say. I would kind of think that that's something someone who's more of a child would say. They should die. She's going to stomp and dance in their grave. No? I'm at a crossroad right now. My wife and daughter are sobbing and pissed at me and want me to abandon my parents, the people who gave me life and shaped me into the man I am today. And what a man he is, letting his parents bully his child. Edit 1. Wow, the comments and DMs have really gotten to me. I love my daughter and my wife more than anything. Well, clearly not more than your parents, though. And I know I've made some big mistakes, one of which was lying to my wife and not defending her or my daughter. Which, going forward, I will set boundaries with my parents. I don't plan on cutting them off, but nobody will be made to see them. I think that's... Like, to be honest, I think that's fine, because if he wants to see them, fine, but he shouldn't make his wife or daughter. I owe huge apologies to my wife and daughter. It's late here, but when I wake up, I will talk to them. I'm having trouble choosing who to be loyal to. For years, I've tried to be loyal to both parties, but clearly that is not working. Was there a thing in particular that happened that caused this rift? What kind of things do your parents say or do to your wife and daughter? My daughter likes to wear crop tops, and my parents will say they look slutty. How old is this daughter? Because if this is a kid... Your parents sexualizing a kid is pretty fucking sus, bro. It's just weird. Incredibly inappropriate. And also, even if she was an adult, still, like, shut up. Get a life. It's not really hurting anyone. Or if my daughter makes a counter-argument, they call it sassing. And as for my wife, they've called her a pig. Or because my wife takes on a more masculine role, they tell me she is a man. Wow, I can see the moral dilemma in, do I side with my parents or do I side with the woman I've chosen to be with forever and have a kid with? Oh, what shall I do? They don't agree with my wife having a job, but I'm perfectly fine with it. But she will flaunt it, which they hate, as she should. They also judge her eating habits, so she would eat and chew obnoxiously in front of their faces, as she should. What are some examples of them being amazing? Have they been amazing to your wife and daughter? When me and my wife first got married, we were in a financial rut and they lent us some money. They took care of our daughter as a baby and toddler and were a big help. They are very giving people. I will admit they are stuck in the past. So they bought you off, huh? Here's the next one, and it's fucking weird. I swallowed water funny, it was too hard, it's hurting. Defeated by water, my finest moment to date. Am I the arsehole for putting my foot down about my daughter getting a summer job? Don't judge a book by its cover. Wait till I've got to it. I tried posting this yesterday, but there are apparently some problems with my Reddit account, which I believe I've fixed now. Cool story, bro. Don't care, didn't ask. My 53 male daughter, 26 female, is about to come home for a few weeks this summer. I'll be happy to see her, but I'm frustrated about how she never does anything over the summer. She will do chores around the house and clean up after herself, but she hasn't had a summer job since the summer in between her 2 years of her master's degree, 2017. 4 whole years ago, which I find unacceptable. She's an adult. Shut up, granddad. She needs to learn to live in the real world. She isn't always going to have summer breaks. So I decided this summer I was putting my foot down about her getting a job. I told her that if she didn't get a job for the time she would be home this summer, she would not be staying in our house. With the worker shortage, it should be more than easy to find a job even for a few weeks. She can work at McDonald's for all I care. She just needs to be working. These lazy, fun summers have got to stop. So, like, she works all year. Take summer off to see you. But these lazy, fun summers are... Everything doesn't need to be a slog. You don't need to be a cog in the never-ending capitalist machine. Not everything needs to be, I need to work 80 hours a week and never enjoy anything and then die. And I don't like seeing her lose her work ethic. She insists she's working on her dissertation and researching. And just because she isn't clocking into a job doesn't mean she's not doing work. I know this is just an excuse though. I read the comments and the comments are saying that this is her working on like a PhD thesis. I didn't go to uni, so I don't know, but I do know that working on a dissertation is a lot of work. So what you're not allowed to have a few weeks in summer, just chill out. Shut up, old man. If she teaches during the school year and still finds time to do her paper, she can have a part-time job over the summer and write her paper. What a control freak. What is wrong with you? So she has a job during the school year and she just work on a dissertation, but oh no, she's got to work these like 3 weeks she's with me. You weirdo. She didn't like hearing this though, not surprised, and she shortened her trip to just 1 week, made arrangements to stay with a friend, said she'd do dinner with us, and the extra 2 weeks of her trip. 3 weeks. He wanted her to get a job for 3 fucking weeks. Hello? Talk about like wanting people to live in the real world. What are you on? What are you smoking, old man? She's now going to spend with a friend who had apparently invited her out to a family house in Nantucket, but she had to decline due to this trip. Which to me is more proof that she has the time to do a part-time job and also work on her paper, if she has the time to do a beach vacation and still work. She, however, claims that since they're both academics, like he's dismissing his daughter doing stuff, they'll both spend most of the time during the day working. Then she gets to see her girlfriend, who she doesn't often get to see. Am I the arsehole for insisting she can't stay in my house if she doesn't get a job? I'm sick of her thinking she is too good to work a job now that she has a couple of degrees, and I believe she needs the reality check, but clearly she's upset. Why do you hate your daughter? She's too good to work a job, but she is working throughout the year teaching and then also doing a dissertation. Are you okay? Good sir. Average sir. Mediocre sir. Let's not keep propping up mediocre people. Do you need to sit down and have a glass of water? There was an update in the comment section, and the man said, he said a bunch of stuff, blah, 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 I'm not jealous of my daughter, yeah. Yes, I understand what a dissertation is. It's the paper she needs to write to get her PhD. I, however, still don't understand why she needs to act like she needs to spend all of her time writing and reading like she's some part of a writing retreat. What an asshole. Last one. Am I the asshole banning my mother-in-law's partner from my house after he tried to steal from me? Trigger warning, miscarriage. Mother-in-law and I don't get along great, but she isn't as bad as some of the mother-in-laws I read about. About 3 years ago, mother-in-law and her husband were invited to our house for a party. At some point, I went to my room and found her husband going through my drawer. He was clearly embarrassed and said she needed to change her clothes. She was having an issue. I wasn't totally sure I believed him, but I soon realised she was miscarrying and it was all over her clothes. I gave her a pair of my husband's sweatpants and we ended up having to call an ambulance because it did not stop. She had some complications and was in the hospital for a couple of days. I did reach out and express condolences, but I was not happy about her husband sifting through my things. She told me she didn't want me to know because we weren't close. To me, stealing is still stealing. You're a fucking arsehole. Like, demonetized. You just are. Stealing is still stealing, no matter what. Oh my God, have some empathy, have some humanity. Shut up. I don't know this person that's anonymous, but I hate them. I banned him from the house, but I didn't tell them. So, okay, so in your eyes, you have a strong moral compass, except you have absolutely zero backbone because you didn't even tell them. You've got to at least tell someone. They're not going to know they're banned unless you fucking say so. You absolute wet lettuce. Anyway, they now have an adorable 2-year-old girl. I have a baby of my own, and mother-in-law doesn't come round much because sister-in-law keeps her busy, so I consider that a win. We went to their house the other day for a 4th of July party. Mother-in-law has a much nicer house and is more into hosting, so it's natural to go there. And I don't think she realises he is banned. My husband, without thinking, started talking about how we were going to do a Christmas-themed first birthday for our son in December. He then got embarrassed and muttered maybe mother-in-law could come with sister-in-law. Mother-in-law was confused. Oh, so even the husband is a fucking simp? So I told her that her partner still can't come because he had tried to steal my pants. Mother-in-law got very upset and ended up kicking us out of her house and said we are banned, legend. Her argument is it was an emergency and he was just going to grab a pair of plain black pants. She was wearing a pastel sundress, which was unwearable. My husband wants me to consider, but to me, stealing is a hard boundary. It's really not. People do not act like this, and we're like, you just hate your mother-in-law and her husband for whatever reason, and you don't want them to come round. That's it. It's not, oh, it's a hard boundary, like no ifs, no buts. I don't believe that people do that without some sort of agenda. 3 years ago, this man made a questionable decision in an emergency situation. You banned him from your house. He wasn't trying to steal from you. He was trying to help his partner and protect her because she didn't want you to know what was going on. Then at a function they are hosting, you embarrass him, and bring up a 3-year-old and painful subject and finally disclose that you banned him from your home. Not just an arsehole, terrible human being, 10 IQ points. Anyway, that's beaten the hope for humanity out of me today, so let's end this video. If you enjoyed it and got suitably big mad along with me, then consider like, commenting and subscribing. I make new videos whenever I feel like it. Follow me on Instagram and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!